welcome. So good to be with everybody live. We are in the Synchronistic Wealth Global Activation Party. And today is our first live session with your amazing person, Scott. So, if you don't know Scott yet, let me tell you a little bit about him. He is just this amazing, amazing human being, okay? Like when you first meet him, you already know how not only gentle and kind and amazing he is, but also just like a wealth of knowledge. So when I first met him straight away, like I just felt this heart opening of connection, but also this admiration and just honor of being in his presence because not only does he have this depth of wisdom, but also such practical ways of applying it. So for the last 25 years, Dr. Scott Mills has been working in one way or another to make the world a better place. So he's described the cross being the cross between Yoda and Bill Nye the Science Guy, who brings a very unique perspective steeped in psychology and spirituality to everything that he does. So he's not only a college professor, social worker, coach, mentor, he's also taught and consulted for New York best-selling authors, entrepreneurs, leaders, started a theater company for the youth, created federal demonstration projects for kids whose parents have HIV, and he has done so much. So today, we were actually talking right before we got on call today, and he's going to be sharing with us starting out first with an activation or rather a remembrance activity. And then after that, we were going to be having an open floor where we can just interact and see whatever emerges. But it is really with my great honor and pride and excitement that I bring Scott Mills to the stage. Woo!
Oh my gosh, that has to be one of the best introductions I have ever gotten. That is amazing. Your energy is just contagious. Oh my goodness, honey. This is so much fun. So I want to thank you for inviting me to be part of this amazing event. I had so much fun when you did the previous version of this and just really loved the people you brought on. And I got to sneak in a little early and felt like I just got so inspired. So when you said you were doing it again, I was like, me, please let me come. I want to play. So, and I love the group that's gathered. I know many of you, and I'm excited to meet more of you. Like Honey said, after I do this little piece, I'm going to guide you through an exercise because um, I like for people to have an experience first. So it's yours. I don't want to tell you what's true for you and what's not. So I'm going to guide you through a little something. And then what I'm really hoping for is that you make whatever out of this experience you like. You ask whatever questions make sense for you. And I'm at my absolute best when you are asking me for coaching or for support. That is so really. I know sometimes I do these guest spots and folks are like, oh, we don't want to talk to the guy or the woman, whoever it is, but we don't want to talk to that person who's the expert. Please don't think about me that way. Think about this as like an opportunity to just hang out with a friend who's got some knowledge about some things in the brain that might help you. So just write your questions down. I probably won't see questions in the chat because in order to get this piece spot on, it's scripted for me. I've been moving for the last week and I'm a little tired. So I wanted to make sure I didn't like have a brain freeze in the middle somewhere and go, what was I talking about? Um, it's over top of the chat. But if you hold the chat questions till the end, but talk to each other, put whatever comments, and I'll go back and look. So before we start, um, let me say a little bit about me. Honey already said I work in this intersection of neuroscience and spirituality. I'm particularly drawn to Taoist and Buddhist thought. So today, a lot of what we're going to do, and this is I've been prepping for a course I'm teaching starting next week called Prosperity Evolved, and it's my work around money. So you're hearing a very Taoist version with some other stuff thrown in or playing together of what money means and how we interact with it. So before we start, let me just say a few things about who I am and what I do. The majority of the work of my work is rooted in making space in the brain for things that you would like to create. Sometimes that's making things safe that have been dangerous. For some of us, money has been dangerous. wealth has been dangerous. It equals visibility. It equals potentially being a target. It equals sometimes people wanting to take what we have. That may be the case for some of you, and for others, it may not. Um, Other times, my work is about creating a possibility where there perhaps was not one. So some of you may feel like, yeah, I don't feel unsafe. I feel really good about money. I'd like to have it come into my life, and yet it doesn't seem to move. I'm going to give you three main concepts today, and the third one that I'll teach. So just listen. If that's you, wait till the end because that's the piece that's going to be most relevant to you. Um, the Sometimes, like today, I feel more like the child in the old story, The Emperor's New Clothes. Has anybody ever heard this story? There's versions of it all over the world. And if you have heard this story, you know that it's a story about a few tailors who go to a town and convince the emperor that he needs to have beautiful clothes that they produce. And of course, because this man is a man of great importance and ego, the emperor must have these clothes. So they we come to find out very quickly in this story that these tailors are actually con artists, and the con artists are telling the emperor, oh yes, we will sew this beautiful like garment for you, and the emperor thinks they're sewing something, but they're sewing nothing. It's all make believe. But of course, because the emperor is a man of great importance and of ego, when he goes out and about, nobody will tell him the truth, that he is in fact naked in front of all of these people and he's been duped. So, and one little child stands outside and says, but wait, the emperor is naked. And all of a sudden, the spell is broken. This is primarily what I see my role as a bit of a trickster, a bit of a playful kind of person who points out some things that are probably obvious as soon as we connect into them. So that's why what I've called what we're doing today is a re-membering, a putting together, back together the parts of us that are so true for us and yet we've forgotten because humans can be a little funny. So there's three things I'm hoping to point out to you today. The first is you're more connected than you have yet to notice. We'll see if you experience that. The second is when you pay attention, your relationship with flow can shift fairly quickly. And I'm talking about the relationship with flow instead of just money. Money is a representation of energy, and there are many types of energy. So I don't want to limit anybody just to having money flow. That would actually be a very limiting life. Because in fact, for me, most of the amazing things in my life have not happened because of money, but because of relationships, because of connection, because people moved things for me. Um, and money is included in there. The third thing I'm hoping to have you notice is the biggest shift um, for you will come from a place you don't expect. So we'll look at that in a minute. So Honey initially said, let's do a quantum activation. I said, that's a fascinating idea. I love these words. I love quantum science. But what I really came to was because this is a remembering and putting back together, I just want to do a little experiment with you to see if you can notice some things that I hold to be true. And by the way, you do not have to agree with anything I introduce. My only request is you try it on, see how it feels. If you like it, keep it. If you don't. That's all good. Nothing in here has to be permanent. So what I'd like to do is have us start with breath,